pledge
This
allegiance
conference
to
will
the
now be
flag
recorded.
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, next order on the agenda is public comment, limited to talking about the upcoming budget. Tim, Ed, comments?
Sure. I would start. My comments relate to Haddam Cove. I think over the past 2 years, a lot of great work has been done to clean up the cove, and I think now more and more people are seeing the potential for what it could be and mean to the town over time. And that, coupled with all the focus on Haddam Center, makes it all that much more important. And I say that because I know that one of the topics is moving for the budget is to move $10,000 from the capital fund, a nominal amount of money, in my opinion, to the operating budget so that that can be used to further enhance the cove with signage and whatnot. And so I would just say I would urge us to do that. We've also, with your good wishes, started the Haddam Cove Committee, and Ed, as you know, is the chairman of that committee, and so I think we've been making good headway, and we'd like to keep rolling ahead.
All right, thank Tim. Is that a transfer that's been talked about for this fiscal year or the upcoming?
Upcoming.
Okay. All right, any other comments? Maurice, I see you're on, and Ed, you're on.
Yeah, as a chairman of the Haddam Cove Advisory Committee that you nicely put together, I would second what Tim has said so far. And I don't know if it's on your agenda tonight, but I know the budget is starting, so I want to make sure that you know that we're in support. The whole committee, a bunch of really enthusiastic individuals are in total support of transferring the $100,000 in the capital plan, the capital budget for next year, as well as the $10,000 for maintenance. I mean, as you know, taxpayers have spent a lot of money through the EPA and the DEP to bring that property back to life, to make it a public accessible. And with the support of our town planner, Bill Warner, who has been very active in bringing revival to the cove as well. And I suppose you took a walk down there, but I would suggest, if you haven't yet, to go down and check out what's been done with the little money we had so far and the help of some volunteers. It's quite amazing. And it's a very, very special place in the sense that a public access to the river, the town river that we are, the only property that's connected to the river, as you know, is a transfer station. This would be the first public town property accessible to the public that has an indirect and a direct connection through the road to the Connecticut River. This little amount of money would help us at least move forward with the basic improvements that we'd like to do. One of them we talked about is a platform, a viewing platform on some of the remnants of the property there, which would be really amazing. It's a unique place in the state. We were told by Steve Gephardt, who worked with the DEP. So want to take more of your time, but I hope you will consider our request and move forward with those amounts. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Ed. And I do have to applaud the work the committee has been doing to enhance what's going on down there. And the cove is coming along and is an important centerpiece for Haddam Center. All right, other public comments? All right, we'll move on to discussion on the budget. My intent for this meeting was really more of an organizational meeting to take a quick look at the budget, talk about which groups, whether it's departments or outside organizations, we want to call in so we can schedule that. Kate, Sean, I'm sure you're aware we've got budget meetings scheduled for next week, 2 or 3 of them, and we can make arrangements to get people there, get groups there to talk. Excuse me for a minute. Yeah, we've got Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week scheduled, and I thought that's where we'd start with the in-depth review.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yep, works for me.
All right, the budget cheat sheet, and thank you, Ann, for the work you've done on putting the budget together. It gives you the current status. It also shows which, by the color coding, which budgets are more than 5% over current. The request is over current, 0 to less than 5% or less than 5% or unmarked or zeros. We're still missing, a number of the fees that we get charged, like probate court, like the health district fee, dispatch fee. Insurances are always a late comer and a big number, but significant portions of the budget are done and ready for review.
All right.
And I would also propose that budgets that are requesting no change, we just hold them for a final approval at the very end when we know how all the other budgets are coming in, and see if we have to tweak overall. But I imagine most of those will just be a blanket approval at no increase.
All right.
And I want to confirm, you also should have gotten a memo that Ann prepared that talks about rationale behind the department submitted for the ones that are in agencies requesting the largest increases.
Yes, that was very helpful. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, at this point, looking at the numbers of the agencies, the groups I'm particularly interested in calling in are the Haddam Volunteer Fire Department. I think part of their increase might actually be more appropriate in capital, but they've asked for a significant increase. Public Works is one we perennially call in because their total budget is so large overall. Not that they're asking for much increase in any one area, but waste management has gone up significantly. We should discuss that. On the outside agencies, Park and Recreation is looking for a significant increase. Rec Authority, we may want to talk to. It's a budget increase, but they're saying that's due to just the shift in the allocation with populations. I mean, I know in the school district, our ADM is going up this year, so shifting population for that as well. And then finally, the last one I'm interested in is Veterans Affairs. So it's not a large budget overall, but it's a significant increase from what they've had historically.
All right. That sounds good. Yeah, I have, just a couple of questions, but we'll get into when we get into the meat of each line. If we're not going to do that tonight, that's fine. So that's see if you can schedule those agencies are the ones we traditionally call in. I think we should get them in.
Right.
And this is Kate. I think I'd also like to hear from Youth and Family Services, especially with the new executive director who started a few months ago, maybe more so just to get an update about where Youth and Family stands and what their short-term future looks like.
Yeah, because they really didn't ask for a huge increase, for 3.24%, something like that. So
Right.
yeah, we're glad to get in just to meet them and get to know them.
Fair enough.
Public
All right, other ones we have typically called in just to make sure we're not overlooking them. Brainerd Memorial Library, Haddam Historical Society, but I'll note neither one is requesting an increase, although that, it is this year, Brainerd's request is a significant amount, $368,000.
All right. I'll have to find them. But that's not an increase. I gotta find them on here.
No, that's not an increase. They're in the 500 series, 515 lines.
Yeah, this is Kate. I would agree on Brainerd. The Haddam Historical Society, I know Lisa does a great job, so I would feel comfortable not calling the Historical Society in unless they want to.
Okay, I'll get in touch with Lisa and offer that option.
If we're going with the same thing with the library, maybe we can ask them if they actually need exactly the same as they had last year. I know they're not asking for an increase, but a decrease would be all right if they can, if they could give up some of it.
Well, and I was wondering too, I know they have phase 2 of construction planned
Right.
for somewhat soon. So I'd like to hear a little bit about where that project stands and how they're doing financially to prepare for that.
Okay.
Yeah, because we gave them a pretty good increase last year.
We did.
All right. And, some I don't think we need, like the Veterans Affairs. They've explained what they want pretty much on there. If you want to ask them, that's fine. But that's the sheet that Ann gave us pretty much explains what they're looking at.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll get in touch with them because I think it's more appropriate. The big part of their increase is they've asked for $5,500, if I remember the figure correctly, but it's close, to fund 5 years of flags for grave sites.
Yeah.
Even from a budget perspective, I'd rather fund a year at a time.
Okay.
So to be about 1,100 instead of 5,500, maybe a little more in the first year just to make sure they have a stock. But I think it'd be better to do it that way than to bump them up $5,000 for this year and then drop it for the next year because they don't need it, and then 4 years later bump them up another 5,000. I think I'd rather smooth that out.
All right. Well, if you want to call them in, we can explain that to them, or no, that's fine too.
Yeah, I can get in touch with them if they want to come in to discuss it in more detail. Fine, if they're agreeable to just smoothing that out, that's fine. Or maybe again, slight bump in the beginning and then smooth from that point on. So I will get in touch with them. All right, and Kate, Sean, the other thing I'd ask, if you got particular budget questions you'd like to see addressed, if you can email them to Joanne, we can make sure to get them to the agencies or the departments, whether we're calling them in or not, ahead of time to get some answers for you.
Yeah, I think that's good because we're having this first meeting here, and honestly, we just got the final budget numbers 3 hours ago.
Right.
So I really haven't had really chance to go through the exact numbers just yet.
Yeah, and really, you haven't gotten the final numbers. You've just gotten the latest update that we have. So
Yeah, the final numbers for meeting, I should say.
yeah,
So I'd like to spend my blizzard looking at budget numbers.
all right. That's what I'll do. Keep in mind our next meeting on this is Monday. So the sooner you can get me the questions, the better off. We'll reach out and schedule a couple of groups to come in.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it today, and I'll have some time tomorrow. I'll try to get them in by tomorrow night.
Okay, that'd be great. All right. Kate, anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Discussion on the preliminary discussion is done on the budget. I'll call for a motion to adjourn.
It's my turn, Kate. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, motion's been made. Any discussion? All in
No.
favor?
Aye.
All right, aye. Motion carries unanimously as always. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you particularly to members of the audience. And we will see you again next Monday night, if not before.
Bob, man, one quick question.
Yes, Carl.
There's more procedural. Will this be a live document like it was last year?
Yeah, we'll keep getting updates to it, yes.
Okay, like when last year, whenever we discussed something, it instantly went on as I was watching it on my other computer screen. So that's fine. Either way, I
Okay.
can always go analog and just write it in with my pen.
Yeah, but not on the screen, Sean. I keep telling you, don't write on the screen.
No, whiteout.
Yeah, okay.
All right, good night.
All right, good night,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Good night.